and will lead you just that next step on to being that more confident, more assertive, and more in control self. It's about working out what it is you want. Do you want to be happy right now eating that chocolate cake or having a future with a six-pack? It's a choice that you need to make. Hi, my name is Philip and welcome to my channel. Today, we're talking about control because whether it's during COVID times or any other time, we're finding it so hard to stay in control because things come up. We don't know what to do or how to do it. But the thing is that we have a general understanding of what we want in the future. It's just we're not sure what steps we need to take in order to get there. So this video is going to help you to be more confident, stay on point, and just be the best version of yourself, which is going to make it so much more likely that you're going to succeed at whatever it is you want. Step number one is to take the choice out. Because if we have a choice, whether we want to do something fun, exciting, or the thing that we know we have to do in order to level up in the future, we're always going to pick that easier, more exciting thing in the moment. But that thing usually doesn't lead you anywhere on point with where you want to get to. It just keeps you still, just going round and round and round, hoping that you're going to get something in return, but actually you end up just staying still. We all know those sorts of things, don't we? Watching repeats on Netflix, playing video games, doing something which you know will lead you to feel happy and content right now, but actually won't lead you to any sort of gain in the future. So you need to start recalibrating what it is you're working on. And that's not to say you can't do anything fun, but maybe think about how much fun you're having in the moment and how much you need to do in order to feel more content and happier in the future. This leads us nicely on to step number two, which is to change our expectations. Because if your expectation is that you have to be happy all the time, you're never going to stick at anything which leads you to feel a little bit stressed, something that's a little bit harder, because you're always going to be thinking, well, I should be doing something which leads me to feel happy. You know, happiness is one of these things which you feel you need to be in life. There's an expectation that we should all be happy all the time, whereas we should be working towards a happier state of being. But you being happy right now doesn't mean doing something hard which leads you to be happier in the future. It means eating a piece of chocolate cake because you'll be happy right now doing that, but you're not going to be happy in the future when you've put on a couple of pounds. We need to recalibrate what it means to be successful. And success doesn't need to be right now in this very moment. You need to be working towards that more successful life for yourself. And that means challenging yourself a little bit. It means going through some stickier situations which lead you to feel a little bit, I don't know, upset, frustrated, annoyed, because those feelings are going to help you to work out the right way to do it, and means that you're going to be building something for the future, something that you're going to be proud of, something which will lead you to be more content and happier in the future, and will lead you just that next step on to being that more confident, more assertive, and more in control self. It's about working out what it is you want. Do you want to be happy right now eating that chocolate cake or having a future with a six-pack? It's a choice that you need to make. Step number three, and this is something that gets in so many of our ways, is to look back at the past and think about how easy it was then. And that doesn't actually help you do anything. All it does is stop you from making any positive change, because no matter what, whether it's easier in the past or not, it doesn't really matter, does it? Because we need to live right now. We need to make those changes right now. So while everyone else is talking about how easy it was then, why don't you just go, okay, it was easier then, great, who cares? I'm going to create it right now. Right now is the right time. It always has been and it always is. Doesn't matter if it was easier, harder, whatever. Point is that everyone else is spinning around in circles, wishing it was different. Live in the moment. Go, what can I do right now which is going to lead me on that path? You know, we don't have control over anything else except for our actions. So make sure your actions are on point with where you want to get to in the future. Stop thinking about how it might have been if you'd have taken the left route instead of the right. Start focusing on, okay, I've picked this route now. Do I keep carrying on? Do I go back and pick the other route, but learn from my mistakes? Build something. It's really important that you take notice of that. Building something doesn't mean looking back and going, it was easier then. It means looking back and going, I made some mistakes. I'm going to correct it and make a different next step in the future. Learn, adapt, change, believe in yourself, be confident, because looking at things which you have no control over won't lead you anywhere. Just leads you to feel upset that it's not that way. But from that book, what I found out is that everyone's always thought it was easier before. So if it's always been easier before, living in the moment feels really tough then. So everyone's dealing with that same tough feeling. Doesn't matter if they live before or they're living now or they live in the future. We all have the possibility to make our dreams a reality, but you need to start acting on that now. In essence then, it's a procrastination tactic, stopping you from feeling a sense of vulnerability, stress, and not feeling good enough. But rather than just feeling that, procrastinating and not doing it, why don't you start believing that you are good enough and that you are confident enough? And the way that you start to bridge that gap is by doing it, taking a risk, pushing forward, making those plans, doing something new. That will lead you to build on that confidence. And then, like I said, it won't matter when you're trying it, because right now is the perfect time. Number 4 is a realistic time frame, because we all think we're going to try something. It's going to take us 5-10 minutes, maybe a day, and that's all it will take. Whereas you've got to sit down, you've got to get prepared, you've got to start doing it, you've got to make a couple of mistakes, you've got to start recalibrating yourself to doing that thing. Maybe you want a break, maybe you want to go to sleep, maybe something else happens which stops you in your tracks. Things always take longer than you think they're going to do. And if you always think it's going to take 5 or 10 minutes or a day, then you're going to be always disappointed that it's taken longer, which leads you to push back and go, I don't want to do this anymore because I thought it was going to be easier. I thought it was going to be quicker. I thought I had this under control. Whereas if you think it's going to take a year to do and it takes a week or it takes a day, then you've just saved so much time. You end up feeling better about trying to do it. And you feel better about yourself because you're not that person that's just taken all that time to do. And even thinking about it in another way, when you tell other people it's going to take me a day to do something, if you haven't done it in that day, you end up feeling bad because you put so much time and effort into doing something and it hasn't come off the way you thought it would. So you worry that people are going to judge you. They're going to think badly of you and you're going to be laden with all of this. Is it an anger directed at you? Is it something else? Sadness? Or them just underestimating who you are? I'm not really too sure what it is that everyone feels, but personally, if I said I'm going to do something and I let someone down, I feel bad. I feel for a moment, am I good enough to do this? And I know I am because I've tried to do it and I'm doing it now. So make sure that you know you are good enough to do it. It might take you a couple of times to give it all your best shot and to get it right, but that doesn't mean that you're always going to get it wrong. Remember, those realistic expectations are going to help you just to stay on point with where you want to get to. And it means that you're going to be impressing yourself over and over again when it takes you less time than you thought it would. If it takes longer, it puts all those other parts of your life on the back foot because you're thinking, well, I scheduled this at this time and that at that time, and because I didn't get this done here, it means I don't have time to do this and this and this. I can relate to that situation because when I've told someone it's going to take this long, it's taken longer, they're going to say to me, what's the point? You're doing it wrong. You're not good enough, which makes me want to disengage. That doesn't mean you should, but start telling people and telling yourself it's going to take longer than you think it will. If it takes a short amount of time, fantastic. You saved all that time and you can go on to the next thing and get that little boost of feeling good enough in that moment. The last step, step number 5, is to ask yourself, is this task achievable? I'm sure you've done your research. You know if you should do something, how to do it, and what the next best step is. However, there's always that niggling doubt in your head going, is this right? Am I good enough? Can I do this? Is this even achievable? You've got to keep going. You've got to keep trying because otherwise you'll never know if it's good or not, if it's right or wrong, if you can do it or not. So give it a go. But whilst you're doing these tasks, make sure that you think to yourself, okay, is this still doable? Do I have what it takes to do it? Do I have enough time? Do I have enough skill? Do I need to ask someone for help? Because it might be achievable if you add people into the mix. Allow them to help you along the road. But you doing it on your own might not be good enough. I mean, as an example, I didn't know how to edit, so I had to learn how to do that. It wasn't achievable for me to get a video out. I learned how to edit, now I know how to edit a YouTube video and get a video out to you every week. But when I first started this, I had no idea. All I used was my phone and I hoped for the best. Whereas now, because I've learned how to edit and I've got help in terms of my editing skills and also in terms of how to do a YouTube video, it means I can get more subscribers, I can get more videos out there. And that's all from me trying to figure out, is this achievable? It doesn't mean I'm not good enough. It just means I need to learn a little bit more in order to get the work done. And that can really help you just to be happier and more content doing the things that you want to do. Remember, this video has been about asking yourself, is this achievable? Are you good enough? And confidence, self-resolve, and attitude is all a part of that. And that doesn't mean that you have to do this on your own. You're not this lone soldier that has to accomplish everything and live happily ever after. You can share in the fight to get to where you want to get to. What this video has been about is learning who you are, what the best next steps are, asking other people for help, giving yourself the best next step to go forward. Giving yourself not enough time, you're never going to get it. If you always looking at the past, thinking about how easy it is, you're always going to defer. If you're not having fun, you're never going to stick at it. Make sure that you put yourself as number one in this whole story. And that means knowing yourself, knowing what it is that causes you to procrastinate, which stops you asking people for help, that stops you from achieving what it is you want to achieve. Maybe there's some gaps in your knowledge base. Remember, confidence is just knowing what to do in that moment. Start learning what it is that you need to do. On that note, I'm going to wish you all the best. I hope you've enjoyed this video, because for me, it's really helped for me to get this out there, because it's just enabled me to see what I'm doing wrong, what I need to pick up on. Maybe some other YouTube videos for me to bring out in the next couple of weeks. Always learn, always adapt, always change. Even if you get something wrong, doesn't matter. At least you've gone one step further on. You do have what it takes. I look forward to seeing you next time. Oh, before I go, remember to like this video and subscribe to see plenty more to come. See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.